Facebook world. Pastor Chris here with the Morning Devos for Living Word. Wanted to just talk a little bit about my heart. Want to make it a little more personal today and just tell you as we're walking through another crisis in our nation, where an individual man, black man, was killed by a police officer. And watching the video, it really marked my life. And I've been going through the last couple of days, haven't really been sleeping well, to be honest. I've been praying and putting things in perspective. What is how do we take a step back, look at a video like that quite honestly, it's hard for me, because it really made an impact just to see everything that I saw. And what's our response? I know what my reaction was, and for 48 hours of seeing that stuff, I was angry. I was very upset. I'm asking God, Lord, what do you have? How do we handle this situation? Where do we move ahead in this situation? How do we heal from this? How do we deal with this? And again, for me, I think the stuff that happens when these things happen, it's always the reaction that gets me. At times the reaction of the church, a lot of fellow Christians, our reaction to our political beliefs come to play. And, like even right now, there's a whole bunch of videos out of the looting and all that. And people are asking me, well, are you going to stand against that? Of course I'm going to stand against that, but there would never be any looting if there was a police officer that murdered a black man by staying on his neck for that long. And so for me, I'm going to stand up for righteousness no matter what the media says, no matter what, people's opinions are. I'm going to stand on the righteous word of the Lord. And as I've been reading the Bible and just praying and saying, God, I've already been on 3 or 4 podcasts, and we've been talking about this thing, and I think we're going to do some more of that, because we really need to talk and not be silent anymore, and not just accept it as is. And it's always been there. And now, racism is always there. It's just now being filmed or whatever. Those are not, it's not good enough anymore. It's just not good enough anymore, church. We need to not only just pray, but we need to be called to action. And when I was reading Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah in chapter 1, verse 17, he says this. He says, learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow. Learn to do right. We as believers, we as Christians need to learn to do right. We need to seek justice. And I'm happy that a lot more people are finally waking up to the place of, wow, something needs to be done. Now, in all of that, we're not by any means saying we hate police officers. Absolutely not. But there are bad cops. And I've had run-ins with them as a born-again believer. And many of my friends have had run-ins with them. Many of my spiritual sons and daughters at some of the most amazing preachers and worship leaders have had runs in with bad police officers. There has to be something done about it. We have to seek justice. And it's not just praying about it, but it's actually maybe needs to be part of a platform. Maybe we need to really come behind some sort of police reform and not think that saying that means that you don't like police officers, because that's not the case. But I don't want to continue to watch videos of a man getting the life sucked out of him, and we're not doing anything. And the desperation of the people on the video. Maybe you need to watch the video so that you can understand where my heart is. defend the oppressed. Listen, church, we're supposed to deal with the fatherlessness issue. We're supposed to deal with the plead the case of the widow. We're supposed to take care of the orphan. It was never the government's job. It was supposed to be out of us, out of the abundance of that. I praise God that I'm at a church right now that has a food pantry, that gives away food, that has that in their heart to take care of widows and fatherlessness issues. There's a fatherlessness issue in the hood, in inner city. We need a revival of fathers. We need a reformation of fathers, and we need the church to stand in the gap and really help men in these neighborhoods that don't have resources, that have not been loved on, that have been rejected themselves, to teach them how to be fathers to their own. I had to learn, how to be a father. As much as I loved mine, my father left when I was a teenager. It left a huge burden on me. So I can't even imagine, if you've never met your father, what you're going through right now. There's a fatherlessness issue that we have to take care of, and we have to plead the case of the widow or the single mom. Again, God in his word is saying, learn to do right. At first, we cannot be reactionary kind of people. And though I wanted to react to the video, I understood that I represent the Lord in all of these things. Yes, a righteous anger came inside of me, but I had to be careful that it wasn't through the lens of a wound that I might have had in the past, because it doesn't help anybody. Yes, we stand up for righteousness. Of course, the looting is not the best idea, but it always has happened. When they murdered Martin Luther King or assassinated him, that cities just blew up. I remember the Rodney King trial. LA just burned. I mean, this is something that comes with injustice. People are angry. And then there's people that are probably taking advantage of that and trying to get stuff. Okay, what are we going to do about that? We stand against that as well. But the main thing here is there's a video out there of a man who was subdued. And we saw the life taken out of him as he complained he couldn't breathe. That is not right. And we must stand for that. And so I'm going to take this morning Devo to let you know that in his word, we will learn to do right and we will seek justice. And that's not bad. That's not bad. I love my white brothers and sisters. I love police officers. But just like anything, you got to be able to judge people. You got to be able to judge people, because I have spiritual sons and daughters that are African American, that are Black, that are African, beautiful cultures, beautiful upbringings. And I see how they usher in the presence of the Lord. And I would hate for us to really start to get something inside of us because one of them have to die. It's not right. We can't do this. And we have to understand that we got to come to the Lord, of course, but now it's a matter of action. Churches do need to speak up. People do need to speak up. And it's important that we understand we serve a justice God. The throne that he sits on is righteousness and justice, right standing and justice. This is not a time to belittle people. This is not a time to hate people. This is a time to pray, to act, and to unite like never before, and give God the glory in this, because it's only going to be the unity that we need in our diversity that brings forth a greater glory in this country. Do you understand that racism attacks the very core of the unity and the glory that we're seeking in this country? Do we see the bigger picture, or is it all about our skin color? Remember, in our offense, we are first ambassadors of heaven. And I know you could sit in that place and be like, when, Pastor, when are we going to see it? I believe we're being provoked. And I am definitely being provoked. And I'm seeing some of my brothers and sisters that are pastors watching that video that have been provoked and are being outspoken and says, this is not right. We will not pass this on to a young generation. And so I just wanted to implore you all to know that the word is righteous, is true. Learn to do right. Seek justice. We need to seek justice for that man. Defend the oppressed. Guys, It's time for us to let go of our political values and bring in our biblical values. We must learn to be biblical before we are political. In this country, we have an issue. We have an issue with that. Everything is politicized. Oh, this only happens during election years. Oh, it doesn't matter. It happened, right? You know? So let's have a heart. Let's pray to the Lord. But most importantly, we have the right to quiet ourselves, quiet our spirit, and respond and not react. Bless you guys. Love you all. Till next time.